Coach Touton and Coach Hickle have got our offensive linemen, and that's who I'm going to start with. They don't get interviewed on the Ranger Network much. You know, they don't get a lot of notoriety, but we wouldn't be who we are without them. So as they make their way on here, I'm going to introduce them one at a time, and we'll applaud each one when I'm through with him. Guys, if you'll step forward when I call your name and just stay forward until I'm through with you, and then we'll move on to the next guy. Our first offensive lineman is Justin Bristol. He's a junior, offensive guard, 1 year to Letterman, academic all-district, very versatile player, made a position change going into the season and another one during the season. He's an all-in guy who'll do everything we ask, as I just mentioned, and whatever it takes to be successful, he's committed to the Ranger way, and he's an example to others, and we're tickled that we'll have him back for another year. Justin Bristol. Our next offensive lineman is another junior, Nathan Brazil. Nathan's a center, first year to Letterman, very athletic, strong center that can make our O-line better. With a good work ethic, attention to detail this offseason, he'll be a big part of our 2017 season, as we're excited to have him back, looking for big things for him next year. Nathan Brazil. Next is Andrew Antonelli, senior, offensive tackle, 2 year Letterman, academic all-district, honorable mention on the academic all-state team, and he's honorable mention all-district on the field. He's a position change guy. We need you to move from tight end to offensive tackle. Well, those guys are usually about 40 pounds bigger than that. I understand. Okay, we need you to go there, and I need you to play, and I need you to excel when you get there. Yes, sir. And never back down from that challenge. He ended the season as one of the premier linemen in this district, which is the toughest in the state. And you don't do that at that size unless you're just one of those guys who decides that it's not going to be any other way. Very proud of him and his contributions. Andrew Antonelli. Next, Terrell Estep, senior. He's a center, 1 year Letterman. Became an all-in guy that did everything we asked him to do. On his first year in varsity, he matured very, very well and really got to where he was a big contributor for us as a senior, both in practice and in his playing time opportunities. Wish him the best in the future, and we thank him for all that he's done for Ranger football. Terrell Estep. Next, Manoa Paupau, junior, offensive tackle, 1 year Letterman, very athletic offensive lineman that we have, and has great feet and a punch that can make a difference when he hits a defensive end. Plays beyond his size that his size would allow him to play. With a great offseason, which he's having, Manoa will be a force next year. We're glad to have him back. Manoa Paupau. Next is Nick Hamrick, senior, offensive tackle, 2nd year to Letter, academic all-district, 2nd team, academic all-state, 2nd team all-district on the field, 2nd team all-San Antonio. Nick is a junior, played at a high level against some of the very best defensive line in the state of Texas. Those individual awards that I just listed are a testament to his performance on the field, but this year he showed us even more. Got injured early on, very early in practice, sat out the early part of the year, came back and played, didn't just play, played at a high level and showed guys how to bounce back. So it's evident why he earned those awards. Huge part of our success the last 2 years, and we will miss him. Nick Hamrick. Next senior, Cole Baumgartner, offensive guard, 2nd year to Letter, honorable mention all-district on the field, made huge gains as an O-lineman from his junior year to his senior year. I'm not sure we had a more improved player. Played a very reliable, started every game at left guard, played against some of the best there was, and didn't just hold his own, but excelled. Proud of the role that he played, and we wish him the best in the future. Cole Baumgartner. Next is Connor Dunn, senior, offensive tackle, 2 year Letterman, academic all-district. Very popular player on our football team. He's an SV guy through and through. Ranger football mattered to him. And when he got his opportunities to play, I think the student section seemed to enjoy that more than anything else that might have happened that night. And I enjoyed it. Connor enjoyed it, coach. He's a program guy. He represents the spirit of Ranger football very well, and we wish him well in the future. Connor Dunn. Next, another senior, Dylan Brooks, offensive tackle, 2-year letterman, second team academic All-State, honorable mention All-District. Another position change guy. We call him in the spring. We need you to move from tight end to offensive tackle. Start to launch into your explanation. Yeah, I already heard it when you told Anto. Okay, I already heard the deal. Okay, so I'll go too. And just a tremendous player for us at offensive tackle. Had to play both on the left side and the right side with Nick's injury. And he played against some really fine opponents. And again, much like we said earlier, he didn't just hold the rope. He held the rope, but he excelled. And I wish we had him another year, but he is a great kid, a tremendous football player, and will be very successful in whatever he does next. Dylan Brooks. Next is John Bauer, Jr., offensive guard, 1-year letterman. Another player that gave us depth in the offensive line on his first year on varsity. Improved a great deal as the year progressed, and he's got a chance to be a real force next year. And I think he learned the ropes this year with a great offseason that he's having. We look forward to seeing what the results are in 2017 for him. John Bauer. Next is Jesse Clifton, Jr., offensive tackle, academic All-District, first year to letter. Jesse's a big, strong, physical kid who's got a tremendous future. Improved as the year went, became a contributor as the year went. His best days are ahead of him, even though he contributed very well as a junior, and we're excited with his work ethic and his continued understanding of the game to see what kind of dominant player he can be in 2017. Jesse Clifton. Next is Nate Eaton, senior, offensive tackle, 1-year letterman. Nathan's a player who worked very hard to make the Rangers as good as they could be. Understood the importance of his role on the team, put forth great effort, improved his skills as the year progressed, and a great teammate, and we will miss him as he moves on. Nate Eaton. Next is Christian Weber. Christian's a senior, offensive tackle, 1-year letterman. Christian's a very versatile player that worked primarily at the tackle position, but we flipped him in there to guard and center as well. As a guy that came to our program a couple years ago and immersed himself in the Ranger culture, the culture of Ranger football. Prepared very well each and every week in all those roles that we gave him, and he was committed to our way and helped mold the offensive line into the force that it became. We will miss him. Christian Weber. Next is Brock Sherber, senior, offensive guard, academic All-District. He was first team All-District on the field, 2-year letterman, as I mentioned. He made up his mind he was going to be the best player he could be this year. He was a great contributor for us as a junior. Didn't rest on his laurels, made great improvement, and became a real force as a senior and played to his potential. Solid performer that was asked and did play many positions up and down the offensive line, and he made our line one of the best we've ever had here, and we will miss him and thank him for his contributions. Brock Sherber. Cade Dix, senior, center, academic All-District, first team All-District, 2-year letterman. Made his way into the starting lineup about halfway through his junior year, but yet, having said that, I think perhaps the most improved player on our football team, which says a lot because obviously he had a big role a year ago. Became an excellent player, became a leader of one of the leaders of the offensive line, has a great understanding of the game, has a desire to go into coaching. because of his love for the game. I said, maybe he's not as smart as I give him credit for, but he exhibited a love of the game, and we'll miss his enthusiasm and his leadership and his obvious great play on the field. Cade Dix. Next is Michael Hausler, Jr., offensive guard, one-year letterman, academic all-district, played primarily in a backup role this year, contributed on the special teams, gave us depth in the O-line, and of course made the most of his playing time opportunities. Very good run blocker, has a great future. We think he's going to have a chance to be a dominant player in 2017, and look forward to watching him grow into that role. Michael Hausler. Alex Schaefer, Jr., offensive guard, one-year letterman, academic all-district, used his junior year, first year on the varsity, to improve his skills as a lineman. Very smart player, has a good grasp, good feel for the game, took his role very, very seriously, and he did everything that we asked him to do. We asked him to do several things this year, and made the 2016 team good, and we look forward to having him back in 2017. Alex Schaefer. This is your 2016 offensive line right here.